President Trump campaigned on the premise to essentially regime change the Ayatollahs of Iran, who are a threat to Western countries. What influence do you feel that this Qatari regime is having in Washington now?
Well, there's two elephants in the Middle East room, so to speak. So you have the Qatar-Turkey Muslim Brotherhood elephant, representing Sunni Arabs, Sunni Muslims, which are 85% of Muslims. And you have the Iran elephant in the room representing Shiite Muslims. And these two elephants in the room are trying to dictate terms for everybody else. I mean, they're both death cults. They both kill people who disagree with them. And as you know in life, if it's like running the mafia. If you can kill people who disagree with you, it's pretty easy to get people to agree with you. You just have to kill a few people first. And so yes, I think Qatar and Turkey are leading the American administration off base and pressuring President Trump to not be tough enough on Hamas and not tough enough on Iran. But eventually, President Trump will come around. He's publicly said that Hamas has to be destroyed one way or the other. He'll eventually come to the realization that there's no one else who can destroy Hamas other than the Israel Defense Forces. And he'll also come to the conclusion that there's no one else who can blow up the remnants of Iran's nuclear weapons and their missiles and their drones and their air force besides Israel. Remember, in the military affairs, you have to have the ability, in other words, weapons, and you have to have the willingness to use them. Israel has both. So basically, Israel, and by the way, no one else has both. I mean, America has a lot of arms, but it usually doesn't have the will. So Israel is basically an extension of the United States because Israel has the arms and the will.
But isn't Israel essentially being straitjacketed by this White House and Pentagon in terms of their plans to eradicate Hamas and be able to at least, if not Israel run it, but at least have it run internationally by people who are not antithetical to Israel's interests?
Well, President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu basically made the decision, for better or worse, that they wanted to get the 20 living hostages out. And they were willing to compromise and allow Turkey and Qatar to play a role in Gaza. Well, if you're going to prioritize the hostages, which is what the population wanted, then by definition you're going to hurt your military battle with Hamas, and that's what happened. But I think the American and Israeli administrations went into this knowing what they were getting, and they basically said hostages come first, and military success we'll worry about later.
Right, but where does that leave the future of what would essentially be a hostile force on the Israeli border? I mean, in Gaza.
Well, President Trump's publicly said, and Israel's publicly said, that Hamas is going to be disarmed the easy way or the hard way. The easy way meaning through negotiations, the hard way through the Israel Defense Forces. In general, in life, when you're dealing with death cults, they only stop killing when someone stops them from killing. We didn't negotiate with Hitler at the end of World War II or with the Japanese Imperial Army or the Emperor. We didn't negotiate with Al-Qaeda and ISIS. So just in the last 100 years, I just mentioned 4 death cults, and they were all defeated through bombs. So I don't see why Hamas and Iran are any different. President Trump always tries the negotiated route first, and I don't blame him. But at a certain time, you have to realize that the negotiated route is not going to work.